Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is the oldest books on my TBR. Now, I am counting the oldest books as anything that is bought before 2023. I kind of think I should have done a bit less than that because, yeah, I think I've got like 60 or over 60 books on this list. So I need to know, I was going to put all the books in a jar and pick out a few of them, but I don't know what to do because there is so many books on this list. Some of them are the more recent and some of them are not as urgent. So what I'm going to do is I put a poll after this video goes live about whether to do all of the books in a piece of paper into a jar and pick like 3 or 4 a month. But then that does stop me being able to be flexible with my reading, which is something I loved. Or do a try chapter on some of them. Or do a whole month of reading the oldest books on my TBR. So those are going to be the 3 options. And I would love you guys to help me decide. I've got a lot of books here on this list. So some of them I'm going to show you. Some of them I'm not because they're well known and we don't need to show you them. Okay? And I'll give you rough ideas about how long. Obviously the end of this list is books that have been on there like I got for Christmas last year. So they kind of don't really count. But I'm going to talk about the books and I'm going to show you the ones I've got to show you if I've got some of them and try and juggle this list. So the first book I've got to show you is the Wartime Scrapbook, which is a book that Charlie from Charles Heathcote gave me years ago. I kind of want to read it. I may get this read this month actually. This book is going on the video, but it may well be on my wrap up actually. I think I'm going to take this off because then that gets a nice small book. So this book is going to be will be in my wrap up for the end of the month because I've decided I'm going to read it because it's only 200 pages. I'm going to read that. So that's the book I'm going to put to one side. Start reading that today. Then I've got Love Poems, which is a book of poetry. It's been on my TBR the longest. So I'm not going to tell you what prompt for, but this is going to be going on my January TBR for Past and Future Readathon. Tell you a bit more about that coming up soon. So that's going to be that. I've got 2 books that were given to me by, I think my sister Charlie gave them to me, and they're smaller books that I need to get off my shelves. They're Jean Pleiades, The Shadow of the Pomegranate and The King's Secret Manor. They're small books. This one's about Catherine of Aragon. This one is, these are 2 about Catherine of Aragon. So we do like her, but I need to get these read. These will get read probably sooner. So I'm going to keep these 2 because these will get read sooner because they're not very long. So they're gradually getting worked through. The next one is a book that's intimidated me because it has been on my shelves for longer. Actually, I need to add this one to the list, so I'll put that under there. And that is The Distant Hours by Kate Morton. It's been on numerous times where I thought I'm going to put it on my TBR and I'm going to read it. But it's nearly 700 pages and it's scaring me. So I need to have some form of incentive to read this. So if anyone wants to buddy read it or whatever, can you give me this incentive? This is well over 2 years old. It's about 2 or 3 years old, this one. So please give me the incentive to read that. Then we've got the Cruciata Sonata and Other Stories. This is one that's been on there probably about a year or 2. So this one's been, it's probably nearer 2 years, this one. By the end of the year, that'll be nearly 2 years. And this is Short Stories by Leo Tolstoy. And it's not a long book, but it is one that, because it's shorter stories, I need to kind of physically get it off my TBR. Then we've got Midsummer's Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. It's a play I read at school. It's a short book, but I don't know why I keep saving it. So I need to kind of get that read. Then we've got another book that I didn't add to the TBR because I only just found it looking on my shelves. It's classic. There is so many classics on this list. And this is Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert. It's another one that's been on my shelves for ages. It was gifted by someone that was previously on BookTube when I was having a crap time. But it's a short book. But again, I've had no incentive to read that. So I need to have a push to read that. This one is another one that's probably about 4 years on my TBR. And this is 3 or 4 years. This is The Girl with the Griffin Bracelet. It was an independent book that was given to me by the lovely people at Bags Books to read and review. And yeah, I've not read it or reviewed it. I know diddly squit about it. It's about ancient Babylon, but I don't know much about it. There is something that's not been drawing me to it, and I don't know what to do about it. So I need that one. It's an independent one. It's been on my shelves a while. I need to get off my bum and read it. The next one is a book that's an independent book that Charlie from Charles Heathcote gave me, Morgan, by Joy Wicklow, who's one of Charlie's friends. I want to read it. I need to read it because it's an independent book, and I know that Charlie really thought I was going to love it. Morgan grows up believing she's an evil child worthy of punishment. Why else would her father disown her? Why else would her mother not answer her letters? When she meets the blind grandmother Grace, she's delighted at last she has true family, but sadly happiness is only short-lived. I need to have something to push me to read that as well. Right, I'm going to look at my piles. Then a book I've had for ages because I've loved Marion Creese's work, but again, this is so flipping huge that there's been no incentive to read it. And this is The Grown-Ups by Marion Keyes. This is about, obviously, it's mahoosive. It's like another 600 odd pages. And this is about Johnny Casey with his two brothers, Ed and Liam. They're brilliant, talented wives, and their kids spending lots of time together. And it's about families, glamorous families, but nothing. It's very big, and I know I loved the other book I read, The Breakup by this author. I know I love this author's works, but I haven't had the incentive to read it, so I need to go off my bum and read that. Then a book I bought because it looked pretty, and I bought it. This is like nearly 2 years older. This is a book that I bought purely because it looks pretty, and this is The Swan Song by Keely Greenberg Jacob. They told him everything, he told nobody else. Stunning book. Look at it, like the end pages. I don't know very much about it. I know that it's had good reviews on Facebook. It looks pretty, but it's set in the autumn of 1975. It's about Truman Capote. I need incentive to read this. Right, let's have a look. Right, okay, so I've also got, before I show you the next lot, there is, I've got a new copy of Crime and Punishment. I've got Sons and Lovers, some more classics. I've got The Little Stranger, but I don't know whether to save that. I think I'm saving that till I can bloody read it with thingy, Jack from Spread Bookjoy, but I'm not sure. I will read that. The Little Stranger is one that I will read. It's for my last Sarah Waters that I need to get off my shelves. Just trying to have the oomph to read it. I've also got Part of Your World, which is one of the Disney retellings. I don't think I've got that in my pile because I can't freaking remember all of them. I've got The Day at a Beach Hut, which is a Veronica Henry, but I need to read The Christmas at a Beach Hut, which I think I'm going to read this month as well. So then I can read The Day at a Beach Hut because I'm trying to read it in order. But I need to read that because I bought it in the... I've got The Mercies, which I will be reading in probably February with the lovely Chatty from the Mad Chatter. I've got... I don't know if I got that one out. Probably not. Nope. I've also got The Little Village Christmas, which is a Christmas book that's been on my shelves for ages. I've got a new copy of Chocolat because I read it and I gave away a copy, but then Charlie from Charles Heathcote gave me a new copy and I love it, and that'll be a reread. So that I may keep that as a reread because that's beautiful. Right, now I've got to have a look. See if I've got. See, I'm checking whether I've got these books on my pile because I didn't tick off what I've. Robinson Crusoe, another classic that I've had for ages, but I need something to draw me into reading it. Now, some of the other ones are now on my list, so I'll stop for a bit. Let's just see if I can find them. Right, what have I done with them? Oh God, here we go. I really do need to blooming get. I'll show you these ones and then we'll go from there and see if I've ticked it off. I've got Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne. I thought this looked a bit sci-fi, a bit incentively. It's a short but sweet book. I don't think this one's been on there too. This one's probably the newer one out of the other ones. I've also got The Reader by Bernard Schlesinger or something. I didn't pull that off the shelves. That's one that I think Alice has read and she liked. I've got The Greek Escape by Karen Swan. It's a book that I've had for ages. It's a summer contemporary, but nothing is drawing me to it. Right, so that's another one there. Here we go. On here we've got The Count of Monte Cristo, which has been on here a while because I got a stunning edition. This is on here because of the lovely Alice from Alice in the Giant Bookshelves, and I think some other people have read this. But look at the flipping size of it. It is nearly 900 pages. I want to read it. I need to read it. It is massive. Do I do a read along of it, or do I tackle it? What do you guys think? Do I do a read along of this and get other people to read it with me, or do I attempt it? The next one is The Three Musketeers, because I know that one of our other booktubers, she's having a little bit of a break from booktubers, love The Three Musketeers. And obviously it's another French classic, it's Alexandre Dumas. So I've got the two Alexandre Dumas books, The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo. Both have been on my shelves for ages, both of which need to get read. Do I try and read them both next year, or do I do read-alongs? What do you guys think? I need your advice on that. Now, another classic, it's more like a children's classic. This is The Swiss Family Robinson. It's a children's classic. I don't know much about it. It looks pretty. It's a World Classics edition. I remember hearing about it. It's like family things. It applies to young readers, but I don't know when to read it, and that's nothing that's drawing me to it. Then we've got Love in the Time of Cholera. Again, I've heard mixed reviews about that, but it's another classic that's been on my shelves for ages. It's a more modern classic by Gabriel Garcia Marquez or something. That's been on my shelves for ages. Then we got, here we go, The Mystic Lake by Kristin Hannah. It's one of Kristin Hannah's oldest books. I found it battered and everything. I think it's a contemporary kind of thing, but I don't know much about it. It's about Annie Coldwater's only child who's left home for the college abroad. In the same day, her husband of 20 years confesses he's in love with a younger woman. I don't know much about this, but it's an older one. It's Kristin Hannah, and I know I like Kristin Hannah, but I need some incentive to read that. Two thrillers that I need to get off the shelves, and I think I'm going to be doing, I may try and get these, I may do a try chapter on these, but these are some of the ones that I definitely need to do a try chapter on, and that is Into the Water by Paula Harkins. I've read one of this author's work and they scared the bejeebers out of me, but I kind of want to read it. I don't want to know too much about it because it is a thriller. And then we've got Paris by the Book, which is apparently a mystery more than a thriller. In a city of millions, it's easy to lose someone. 12 years before Leah Erdely arrived in France, her husband disappeared. Early one morning, he walked out the door and never come back. All that he left behind was a scrumpled note in the cereal box, leading her to the bustling streets of Paris. And it's just, yeah, mystery. So those two are like my thrilleries. Then we've also got The Confession by Jessie Burton. I got a new copy. I've read the book, but I listened to it on audiobook, but I need the physical copy. So I've got the physical copy, but again, I need to read it. Then I was given ages ago Concave by Robert Harris by one of my mum's friends, and it's a historical fiction thriller. It's The Pope is Dead. Behind the locked doors of Sistine Chapel is 118 cardinals are meeting in concave to cast their vote about a secret election. Another thriller that I probably need to do a try chapter on. Then we've got, so I've got Daniel Deronda. That was on my classics to read this year. Didn't get read. Will read it. I'm not going to get stressed because that's a book that can be left for a while. I've got two foster care books, Silent Cry and Daddy's Little Princess. I'm nearly done on my caught up on my Cathy Glass books, and this one's about Beth's story. So this one is one of her older works. I don't know too much about it, and The Silent Cry is another one. I don't know much about it, but they are supposed to be really good. I've got The Suspicion of Mr. Witcher, which is a like non-fictiony, Victorian-y, darky dystrophy. I was going to read it this year. I can't remember why I didn't. Then we've got The Canary Girls, which is a historical fiction, but I believe I picked that up, little realising it's part of a series, and I don't know whether to unhaul that because it is a middle of a series and I've got to find the other books to go with it. And we've got The Sentinel by Lee Child. I got given that as a book, as a present from my work, someone in the Secret Santa. Lee Child's books, I don't even know if I'm going to bother with them. I've got a load of Lee Child books on the shelves that people have given me when I was trying to do thrillers. Do I read them? I don't know. Alice, you're the person to ask about that. And I've also got a book about Ruth Rendell's mysteries. That I will save because it's a pretty book and I will read that. But let me know about the thrillers, what I do. Then we've got The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. I will read that. I'm not stressing about that. I've listened to the audiobook. We'll read the physical book at some point. We've got a couple of like Percy Jackson kind of books. So I've got the Trials of Apollo and I've got Heroes of Olympus. They will get read, but they're part of series, so again, I'm not going to get stressed by those. Then I've got a short book that I may try and read this month, and that is The Auschwitz Violin. This is a book set in, no, it's actually in the winter of 1991 in a concert in Krakow. A woman is with a marvellously pitched violin meets a fellow musician who is instantly captivated by her instruments. And it's about the fact that this is someone imprisoned in Auschwitz. Daniel feels the humility stripping away. I want to read this because this one is only 100 pages, but I feel a bit like done in with the wartime books at the moment, so I don't know whether to save that for next year. I will save this, but I need to know when. Then we've also got Dawnlands, which I'll be reading in January. It's part of the series. That I got a gorgeous copy of Dawnlands, so I will be reading that in January. That was given to me by Charles Heath for Christmas last year. The Scapegoat by Daphne du Maurier, that was given to me for Christmas last year. I will get that read, I'm not stressing about those. The Liberation by Kate Fernville, it's another one. It's on my shelves, but from what I can remember, it's a very big book. Madame Varova, again, classic. I think that's on my list for next year. I think it's actually in my TBR jar pile, sneakily peek. And we've got The Truths and Triumphs of Grace Atherton. I bought this purely because it looked pretty, but again, it's been on my shelves for a while. It's got one of the protagonists is Grace, is 40 and she's in love with David. And then you've got Nadia, who's 17 and furious. And then you've got Maurice Williams, who's 86. So there's 3 different generations, crises, that kind of thing, contemporaries. It will get read, but nothing's drawing me to it straight away. And we've got The Butterfly Room by Lucinda Riley. I want to get the Seven Sisters books read before I read her other independent books. The Lost Loves of Francis Langley. That's another one that Chris gave me for Christmas. I do want to read it, but I've read his other ones and I've kind of got to, if I want to read that. Oh, The Dark Prophecy is another Percy Jackson kind of book, but that will get read. We've got Tangerine, which I think I said I'd read with Gemma from Gemma Books at some point. Very twisty plot. It's set, I really don't know much about this. I don't know why I picked this up. The last person Alice Shipley expected to see when she arrived in Tangier with her new husband was Lucy Mason. After a horrific accident in Bennington, 2 friends, once inseparable roommates, haven't spoken in over a year. Don't know much about this. Do I need to push myself to read that? Then we've got Hearsay by S.J. Paris that Jack gave me. I need an incentive to read that, but that's part of a series, so I'm not pushing myself. Then we've got Dombey and Son. You know everything that happened with Charles Dickens. That one can be left on my shelves. Small Island by Andrew Levy. This is scaring me because it's massive. I don't know much about it. It's won an award. It's been good, but it's very, very big. How big is it? For over 500 pages. So again, that size is scaring me. We've got the Iliad, which is like everyone knows about the Iliad. I need an incentive to read that. No Name by Wilkie Collins. That will get read next year. I bloody love Wilkie Collins. Peony in Love by Lisa C. Again, it's been on my shelves a while. I do need to get to it. Untamed, I've already shown you. Journey to the Centreverse, I've shown you. Then we've got Untamed is this one. And this is by Glenn Doyle. It's a non-fiction book. It's had some good awards. I will get to it. I think this one might be going on TBR jar. In fact, this one is going on my TBR jar, so don't worry about that. That's going on my TBR jar. But I've got a lot of books. I think I've listed them all. Probably not all of them. I've got a lot of work to do. Please let me know down below. Are any of these I should get rid of? Try chapter, TBR jar. What do I do? Please help me. I'm going flipping insane. And I'm stressed out by this. Because I know for everyone else, oldest books on my TBR isn't long. But for me, this feels a lot and it's scaring me. And I don't need that. So help me. If you've got to the end of this video, do a stop sign. Because I need to stop buying new books as much. I need to put a stop on fresh flapping. I just need a stop. I need to stop. Okay? I need to stop stressing. So put a stop sign. Like a traffic lights. Or traffic lights even. Traffic lights or a red stop sign. Something like that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you do, I'll be bloody surprised. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, bring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.